What's going on, everybody? Bobby Fire, Sheets Haber. We're going to be talking through this 7-game NBA slate, and we're still waiting on some news, so we're going to have some stuff to figure out. And not really much has changed yet since earlier today. We don't have the obvious value. We have basically a pretty decent amount of chalk in the on the Lakers side of things tonight. So, Sheets, I'll just ask you: have you run some things? What are you sort of getting to at the moment?
Yeah, what are we waiting on?
Drummond is questionable, and they re-announced that he was questionable, so that really helped. He's one of my highest owned players today, so if he doesn't,
oh really?
I mean, yeah, I'm getting to quite a bit of him actually. If he is a go at 5,300, we're waiting on. I mean, LeBron is officially questionable, but I'm assuming that he's going to play, and we're waiting on. There's Wiggins who's still questionable. Kobe White is still questionable. That's probably the biggest one. And it's a pretty big one because that Indianapolis-Chicago game looks pretty good. So those are the main ones. And then there's always the stuff we don't know about, of course.
Got some kind of nonsense in football this weekend.
What's that?
You got now 2 80% owned cheap running backs.
I know. It's going to be interesting to just completely go the other direction.
I don't know how. Well, I mean, it's going to be a lot of 3 running back lineups, that's for sure.
100%. Totally agree.
Which one, instinctively, if you had to pick one of them, who do you like more?
It's a good question. Garendo.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm going to still have that same feeling on Sunday. I'm still deciding on that one myself. But yeah, these Friday slates for the NBA though are a little funny because I just not even the Fridays. I just get frustrated with the so much late reaction stuff, and I just hope that we don't get. I hope we don't get much news. I hope for once that we could just sort of let things lie because I actually like what I'm getting to right now.
Yeah, I don't have to rerun, so I don't have any Drummond, so we'll see what it is.
Well, I noticed that your projection has him a little bit lower than
Sabres,
and that's probably why I'm getting to some of it. But
okay.
I actually don't mind the play though. I actually think it's a reasonable play anyway. What
I'm getting is like all the San Antonio again. Sohan, Keldon Johnson. This is on DraftKings, obviously. Castle, cough, Chris Paul.
Right.
I'm just getting a whole bunch of that, and D'Angelo Russell, LeBron, Capella, same as before. Rui and Davis. You know what I mean? This not much has changed. Like those Lakers, the Spurs, still Capella. Those are the guys I have like over 20% of. And Obi Toppin, you get like 25% of him right now.
I like that. It's actually I'm not sure where he's going to end up ownership wise, but I kind of like that. I like that play. Yeah, it's interesting with the Spurs stuff on the back-to-back with the old guys. I think that my approach is going to be to try to get less of the old guys and more of the Castle, more of the Keldon Johnson, more of Champagny, more of Sohan, and a little bit less of the Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. I don't think Harrison Barnes is going to be especially popular, but they're still looking like they're going to have some decent enough production.
That's a good point about going with the younger guys on the back-to-back. That's something I should consider a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think that naturally you probably are because I know you don't want to play Chris Paul at $1,000,000%.
I'm getting like 40% of him right now. I mean,
I actually had to lower my exposure to him because I have him as the I had him they were trying to give me like 100% of him. I'm just like, there's no way in a million years I'm ever doing that.
I'm getting a pretty, I don't want to say exactly that, but I'm getting a big old chunk on freaking FanDuel as well.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they if the Spurs. I mean, it didn't work out for them last night. Like, are they going to go back to Sohan at center? I think the starting lineups are probably. You said what are we waiting for? I think starting lineups are probably the most important thing left. Because I do think there's an outside chance that you might see Zach Collins or Bassey start. I'm confused why the projections because I think we just assume they started the last game and whatever, but they lost the last game. Badly. Why wouldn't we expect something a little bit different today? That's just my take. And I'd like to force in some of the Collins and some of the Bassey, to be honest with you, because they're also going up against Vucevic is a true center, but he beat the hell out of him. maybe tonight they go back and they say, okay, we're not going to let Sabonis do the same thing to us. So they do let those guys play. I think that's an interesting way to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what time is that game?
That game is at 8.
Okay.
So I guess the real thing is, like, speaking of, there's only the first Island game. I have a little bit of Franz. I have a little bit of Mo Wagner, and on the Philly side, I would have a good amount of Drummond. Everything else, actually, I don't even know how much I'm going to end up with Drummond, but I'll probably have like around 20%. Everything else feels like, okay, maybe we just wait till 7:30 to make some of these final decisions.
Other guys I have on FanDuel, by the way, that more than on DraftKings. I have more Benedict Mathurin on FanDuel. I have more DeAndre Ayton on FanDuel. I got like almost 50% of him.
Oh wow!
And then Tyrese Halliburton. So nothing that different, but again, Sohan, Keldon Johnson, Chris Paul. Pretty much the same guys. D'Angelo Russell, I don't have over these. Is he expensive over there? I'm getting only like 15% of him.
I think he's like 6 instead of 5, but I'm not
63. Yeah, he's 6,300 over there.
Yeah. Did you end up with any of the Connect?
I did not.
I just think this is the kind of game against Atlanta where it's just they're going to play fast. You're going to get threes off against them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know Max Christie got a lot of blowout run, but he also was playing before that, and he played pretty well. I would consider that an interesting.
You know what? I actually am getting some Connect now that I'm looking at it. On DraftKings, I'm getting like 20% of it.
Yeah, I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
But I'm getting also bunches of the Rui, as I mentioned before.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand with the Rui. I mean, I should like him because I like everybody against Atlanta, but maybe it's just my own wishful thinking. I like Rui in general, but I feel like bring him off the bench. I'd like to see Max Christie play more. Maybe I'm being biased, but I like the Christie as a we don't have any super value obvious plays. Why can't we take a shot on Max Christie at 3,300? That's my take. Are you getting to that Isaac Jones play?
I did not. The Gaslight play.
The Gaslight play.
Did not get to the Gaslight play.
Let me just see, because you guys have got it lower too, and I agree. I tend to agree more with.
I'm rerunning one. I'm rerunning a new one now. Oh no, you know what I'm running now? I'm not. I'm running a football one now. That's what I'm running now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to rerun this with your projections and my stuff and see what changes for me.
I'll rerun a football one too. I got a little bit of time.
Yeah,
I mean a basketball one again. I have some time, but again, I'm gonna. I probably should just freaking take it off. I put Stay Kings up. I'm going to dinner, and I'm not even going to be there for the freaking starters from San Antonio. Ugh.
I've seen you win in worse odds before.
I have.
And the San Antonio thing is really my speculation, but I just think it's an interesting thing to speculate on.
No, I can't. Listen. I think it's very legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but Sohan will play minutes anyway. But I'd want to get Collins if he starts.
Right. Same. I actually think even if Collins doesn't start, he's in play for me. I just think they're going to need somehow to match up with Sabonis because they run so many things through him. And I like Sohan's supposed to be a good defender and everything, but he's supposed to be at some point. But he just doesn't have the size. I just don't see it working out. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of playing some of those bigs, even though I'm just looking for ways to get contrarian here. I'm going to rerun my stuff with your projections and your ownerships just to see.
I'm going to redo everything in about 5 minutes. So if you can do it again, if you want.
Yeah. I just want to take a look, get a feel for this one. I did have a nice, Jordan helped me out. There was definitely an issue, but we found a workaround. So
really? Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was good. He's a good dude.
Yep.
Is there anything special you want to mention about hockey tonight? We got people.
I just ran the hockey. I mean, there's nothing really special to mention. Just same process as always. Projections are up. I'll try to run one more. It's just kind of, I got nothing to say. You know what I mean? I've gone through my process so many freaking times.
Yeah.
I'm limiting my stacks to 6 O's, 5 2s, and 4 3s after I run stuff, and just kind of flying with it. I'm doing min uniques 2 or 3 today, and just your normal hockey slate.
Yep.
I did the last of the UFC videos. I did like 5 UFC videos this week. I think at least 4. And I might even do another one in the morning, just to kind of finalize stuff. And what I want to do, maybe I get Goldie to produce this or somebody, is I want to go through the like all 4 videos and take like clips from like my comments on each player, each fighter, so I can see how they've changed over the week. Like,
oh, that would be cool, actually.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking to do, like a full like 1 minute, or like a 5 minute like combination of takes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? I'm completely going all in on Pantoja. I'm like, and then we'll click back to, I think we should go 50% of each of these guys. It's like, and just see how it progresses over the week.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting. I think that who might be able to help out with that is Brandon's pretty good about that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
maybe you can find a way to do it. So the big MMA fight is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's always Saturday nights.
Well, don't they haven't they had some on? When they were in other countries, that's what it was. It was like the middle of the night or something.
Oh yeah. No, it's different times, but yeah, tomorrow is just your regular like 6 p.m. Eastern time. It starts.
Yeah.
Goes straight till like 1 a.m.
I'm running here, and it's giving me like I like the Sohan play if he does start, and even if he doesn't start, I think he's totally in play. By the way, but I'm getting him as my highest owned player now.
Yep, I'm getting him the same on both sites.
Yeah, I get that. I want to just throw out that I'm fine with the LeBron play on its own, but I personally think at this close of a price range, I would play more Davis than LeBron personally.
Oh yeah,
that's just my take.
I was getting this is something I don't usually get too much. I was getting some with both of them actually for some reason.
Huh, that is interesting.
And I almost never get that.
It's a good enough matchup where I think it makes sense. Like,
you think so?
Atlanta actually's done it. To their credit, Atlanta's improved defensively like a lot. But I just think it makes enough sense to do it. And look, if D'Angelo Russell is going up against the guy who's been basically the best defender in the world, I still think at this price it's hard to ignore him. But I mean, it's pretty fair to point out that Dyson Daniels is no joke defensively.
He's great.
You're gonna be matching up with him unless they want to put. I can't imagine they'll put him on somebody else. I think his primary matchup will be Russell because they don't like Trae Young would probably be the guy to guard. Actually, you know what? Trae Young might end up on Russell because they don't have any. They have too much size elsewhere, so it's interesting. Yeah, and David saying the same thing about the LeBron Davis over LeBron. Because some of the guys I liked earlier, I'm not getting as much of today. Like I sort of was interested in Gobert. I sort of faded out on that a little bit, and I like the Naz Reid. I think that's
okay. That's something.
Get different play. Yeah,
you're usually not a Rudy Gobert supporter.
I'm not. It's true. I think he's the most overrated player in recent basketball history. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame because you can't win like 95 Defensive Player of the Years without getting the Hall of Fame. But I will go down and say that is completely fraudulent. When you win a Defensive Player every year, but every year you can't play in the playoffs because you literally can't defend anyone because if anybody who plays 5 out. Like,
even better, they literally attack you on purpose. I mean,
yeah, it's like ridiculous. I'm like, okay, that's something we can't call this guy the best defender. That's going to be
if every other team wants him on the court. I mean, like,
right. The other team is desperate for him to play. I'm getting to a lot of that. I mean, most of my exposure is basically between the Lakers, Atlanta, and Indy, Chicago, and then the Spurs guys. That's pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's. Unfortunately, that's the NBA. It's like
right.
You said Indiana. You getting any TJ McConnell?
Yeah, 20%. And I've finally got Chris Paul down to 27, but I can't get him lower. I keep trying. It's not letting me.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, he'll get his 30 or whatever.
Yeah, and I would like the idea of late stacking these games and having being able to swap along the way, but I just don't like the late games that much. I wish I did. I wish I liked the Portland Utah better. Yeah, and Scoot Henderson being questionable. That's one that you could easily talk yourself into a number of plays if he's out. Banton would look like a great play. Sharp would look even better. Simons would look even better. Pretty much everybody obviously would look a little better. So
Yeah. So what's the deal with this Andre Drummond play here? Let me take a look at this. Yeah, I'm rerunning it right now because I had a projection of like literally 6 points lower than him. So I'm rerunning it again though.
I think we might still see a similar thing. I actually am down. I just lowered my ownership of him a little bit. It does feel like a little bit the weird thing to do, and also like he's legitimately questionable. If he's really legitimately questionable, are we assuming that he's even going to get full run if he's out there? I don't know. He's not like he's been smashing either this season. It's not his fantasy production has gone away a lot. They played a lot more Yabusele at the 5. So maybe that's a play I can talk myself out of that one a little bit.
Getting into these Utah guys, I was getting them earlier. I'm not anymore though.
That's what David's asking in right now about Keontae George and Markkanen. I think they're fine, but why? Like they always look the same. They never do anything basically unless somebody's out. I mean, look, Keontae George is 5,900. He hasn't scored. The last time he scored 30, I think that one of the other guys was out. He did have that 140 fantasy point game, but he's like mid 20s every game. It's a slower paced but bad defensive match. Bad defensive team they're playing. Markkanen might be one of the most overowned players this year. He basically never gets there.
Oh, really?
Everybody plays him. John Collins is the one who does get there in a big way more often, and he seems to be less popular. So I actually think I would go Collins over Markkanen if I just had to choose. Even though the projections are giving me more of the other. I don't really love the Markkanen thing as much personally.
Do you have any like kind of game stacks in other words, that Laker Atlanta thing? Like you have any like lineups with like 2 of each side or anything like that? Or
yeah, so I actually did. That's one of the changes I made today. Is I did go for the specifically the Lakers, Atlanta, and Indy, Chicago. I've got 47% of my stacks now are Lakers, Atlanta, and 41% are Indy, Chicago, but most of them are 2-1s.
Okay,
with a couple 2-2s, and actually 25% 3-2s now.
Yeah, I see. That's like a sheet stack. I love that.
Yeah. No. Hey, I love it. This is what I used to love it. Everybody would talk about how it was the worst thing in the world to stack games and stuff. I just haven't hit on one in a while, so it'd be nice to hit on one.
Well, to get that one overtime. You haven't been to overtime yet.
I know. We need the overtime one. Kobe White is in, by the way, which is nice. Nice to know.
Oh, thank God. I mean, just to like less stress. That's all.
You know who I like? Kobe White.
He's a good play.
Why not? Because like he's going to get low ownership, and he's I don't think he's going to be limited. And they're on the back of a doubleheader that was also a fast-paced game last night. That feels pretty good to me.
I wonder how those guys that have these middling projections like end up doing. Like the guys that we're not sure if they're in or not, then they get ruled in. I wonder if maybe some sites don't even readjust back to them being completely in. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it's possible. Jonathan Isaac was ruled out, but I'm pretty sure I was assuming that he was going to be out anyway.
That's what we're expecting anyway, right?
I was expecting it, but I'm not sure the projections did. Let me just see. Yeah, he's out. Yeah, they had him as out.
So I'll do one more here. So I'm rerunning the projections now. They'll be done in about 2 minutes. Then I'll throw them up there, and then I'll run one more build. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Fine.
We'll see what we get. Do you watch any of the? You follow any of the college football and stuff?
I do at this time of year. I used to literally be obsessed with college football and college basketball and barely pay attention to the pros, like as a kid especially. But I have to say, if there's one thing that the playoff is doing, it does have me more interested. I'll probably watch more college football games this year than I did in previous years. So,
but this weekend's not the playoffs, right? It's like the conference championships, right?
Conference championships, yeah.
I got a whole bunch of my friends here are like Penn State people, and they're going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're going to be watching that game tomorrow.
You know what's interesting is I was at the gym with the week they were coming to play at USC, and there was a ton of people wearing Penn State shirts on that Friday for whatever reason. I was like, I didn't know Penn State had this big representation in Southern California too.
They're everywhere.
I had no idea.
No, Penn State, they're literally everywhere.
Yeah. Drummond is in.
Well, okay, so I have a Drummond projection now of it's still like way below. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know what else to say, except that I'm below.
Yeah. K9, good to see you, man. K9's asking if there's anything different for FanDuel. I think that the biggest one is that you're playing D'Angelo Russell on DraftKings. You're not playing him that much on FanDuel, or he doesn't protect nearly as well because he's 6,300.
The other guy that I had from before, that's more on FanDuel than DraftKings, was Benedict Mathurin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. That was the other one. All right, let's see. Yeah, I like the Mathurin play too. I really like that whole game. I just think that's the one I'm going to bet on to go wild. Although
I wonder what the deal with this Drummond thing is. Why Saberson has him so much higher than everybody else?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It feels like an overprojection to me. For what it's worth, by the way, that game has a total of 248. Wow. I don't care how much. I just am always going to bet the under on a back to back 248. I don't care, man. It's too high of a number. It's just a crazy number.
What was it? Remember, was it last year when they had all those games that went crazy?
Yeah, well, there was there at the beginning of the year, like every
game.
They
changed the rules or something, right? They
what was the thing they changed? I can't even remember.
No, they gave like the referee some orders to like I forget what it was.
Yeah, they were calling or not calling something with screen and rolls. I cannot remember what it was though.
Or was it also the Jalen Brunson, like that rub off thing? They wouldn't call that foul anymore or something?
Right. And Brendan's asking about any love for Drew Holiday. I have 20% of Drew Holiday. I like Drew Holiday a lot today.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I think he's going to have he's probably going to be like 15% maybe. 5,100 makes sense to me on the back. Look, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not even a back-to-back, but it is a back-to-back, but the other guys didn't play. So he didn't play last. He's not one of the guys who played. I always loved those guys in that spot. The other one that is interesting with the projections that sort of jumped all over the place, depending on where you look today, is and it's not even that big of a jump. It's like 2 points, but at 3,300, Jalen Smith. I like the Jalen Smith play a ton as a way to get different because he only played 12 minutes last night. Vooch played a ton, and it's a fast-paced matchup. I could see Jalen Smith, and it's also it's a revenge too on top of it. It got everything going for Jalen Smith tonight. So I like
Jalen Smith 3K revenge, huh?
Yeah, and he's 2,500. I'm sorry, I say he's 3,300. I've got him at 25% right now, and he's projected to be like 2%. Yeah, I'm in on the Drew for sure. But it seems like a pretty straightforward idea, doesn't? Okay, so Buzelis is in. Everybody basically. Okay, so never mind the Kobe White thing. So I didn't realize Lonzo was going to be in for sure tonight. I thought that was still speculation.
Lonzo Ball's playing basketball again?
Yeah, and he had a projection. So
wow.
Yeah, let's do this. But I mean, he just is going to be very monitored because he's been hurt for 2 years. You know, it's really sad because he really turned things around and was becoming an unbelievable two-way player too. And I feel like he's never had the chance to have the career he should have had. We ruined him in LA. Then he finally gets to go with the Bulls and he gets injured. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Dosunmu just went back to another 70 fantasy point game?
That'd be awesome. And then it just started off on.
And then everybody plays him because the sites don't raise his price next time, and then he gets like 8.
Yep.
That's what happens. Oh, by the way, you know who did work for me last night? Misic.
Oh, he got there?
He had 35.
That's awesome.
And he was 0.8% owned.
That's awesome.
Perception is a funny thing, and one bad game doesn't mean it's going to be every game like that.
Yep.
And I'm getting to your Capella. Your projections always love Capella. And by the way, I have to say, you're probably right. If you look at Capella's game log, it's actually like kind of surprising this guy doesn't get played more. Like, because he never ends up owned. He always looks like he's going to be 1,000,000% owned, never ends up owned. And he always gets there. Or not always, but when he gets there in a big way. Yeah, look at this. He's last 4 games, 34, 38, 29, 35. I'll take that. Wonder for this matchup if they would prefer Kongwu though.
So let me see what I'm getting here in the DraftKings now. I'm just rerunning it now.
I'm gonna rebuild too. Guys, any other questions or thoughts? Please pop them on in there. Oh, nice! I'm happy the Kuminga hit for you. That was the one late game one that I.
Kuminga sighting.
Yeah, he had a nice game.
Dude, same guys, like all these Spurs, Lakers. Hey, I got some more Rudy Gobert showing up. That's fun.
That's always what you want to see. Let's see. Yeah, I've actually got a reasonable number myself. Okay, well, 8%. Yeah, it's any of the news probably. Now I'm looking at the questionables, and it's not that many left.
Well, we still have starters for the Spurs, right?
Yeah, which is speculative, but it's still a thing. We have a bunch of probables, but I'm assuming all those guys play. Andrew Wiggins is questionable, but that's probably not going to do that much just because the way that Golden State plays. You'd think he'd play against his former team. Come on. But they're not in Minnesota, I guess, so he doesn't have to. Keldon Johnson tonight, average Joe? Yes, Keldon Johnson tonight. He was their best guy last night, actually. All right.
Yeah, I hope they have some opportunity to late swap later, but we'll see.
The question of does Drummond take away from Paul George? No, there's like no relevance to Drummond and Paul George, really.
Paul George might be more. I mean, some rebounds, I guess, but
yeah, maybe. But am I kind of crazy for liking Paul George? The last time he played 37 minutes.
He was like my hero last time he played.
Why aren't we playing him? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I can get on board with. Yeah, let's do the Paul George thing. I'm in on that. What else do we have here? Doesn't look like a whole lot else. We did hit 100. Guys, please hit the like button. And we can get out of here whenever you want, Sheets, because I think we've covered all that we've got for now. I'll update everybody.
I'm up my builds here. I'm going out to dinner with Mrs. Sheets.
Nice.
Looking forward to that.
You going to that great place I went to ever? Have you gone back there?
Actually, we are.
Oh, you are? That's crazy.
That's actually really funny.
Nice.
We haven't been there in a while, but it's totally by coincidence we are going there today.
Nice. That place was great.
Yep. That's really funny.
That's really funny. All right. Labor Fight just doing this. Okay. Yeah. So my highest owned players right now, Sohan, Russell, Castle, Keldon Johnson, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Jalen Smith. I have 30% Jalen Smith. I'm playing the hunch. I like it.
Okay.
Then I got Halliburton, Bogdanovich, Chris Paul, Capella, DeRozan. DeRozan on the revenge.
Sure, why not?
He's a good revenge guy. Okay, 12-6. It also was nice talking to Jordan because it sort of like confirmed that I wasn't doing anything wrong. You know, I was like sort of wondering, like, am I making a mistake that I'm missing somewhere along the way with this? But fortunately, it was a mistake.
All right, I just had about another like 5-10 minutes worth of stuff to do. I'll hang up on you guys.
Okay.
And I will see you Sunday.
All right, man. Sounds good. Have a good night and enjoy your dinner. Say hi to Stacy.
Okay, I will.